everyone, I hope you're all really well. So today's video is going to be a honest kind of like chat about new mum wobbles, and particularly in my case it's been different, I suppose, because I gave birth on the Wednesday and then we went into lockdown on the Saturday. So I had literally a few days of sort of seeing family, and then we went into lockdown and nobody has, met my baby. I haven't been out with her anywhere, other than like for a walk around the block kind of thing. I haven't introduced her to any friends. We haven't done anything like that, and it's been really, really tough. Also, there's the side of it of you have no spare time when you have a newborn. It is, I thought that because I am the oldest of 5, I grew up around kids, I grew up around babies, I thought I kind of had a little bit of an understanding of what it was like, and I just don't. I absolutely did not have a clue of how it was going to be. There's so many variables. I focused so much on the actual birth part, I think, that I didn't give much thought to the afterbirth element, and that really knocked me for 6. I was really ill and I really struggled, and I really struggled mentally as well. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. I felt like I wasn't doing a good job. I still feel like that, at least, once a week, if not more. And if you're somebody who questions everything that they do and kind of always feels like they're doing a crap job of everything, then this is like even worse, because it's such a big responsibility, and I don't know, do you ever feel like you're being the best mum that you can be? It's really hard, and it's really hard with babies as well, because like they can't tell you what they want, they can't tell you what's wrong. It's a learning curve for sure, but everybody does say it gets better, it gets easier, and you sort of think like, because people are referring to like the lack of sleep and all of that kind of thing. For ages she wasn't a very good sleeper, and people sort of tell you to trust your mum instinct, but I think when you're a first time mum, and if you're somebody that's not massively sure of themselves anyway, I constantly was doubting it, and I didn't know, and I didn't feel like I was able to make decisions about that kind of thing. It's also something that is worth noting, that if you're somebody who's used to sort of doing things their way, it's actually quite hard to have to sort of run by your decisions by somebody else, because it's their child as well. And I never thought about that. I sort of thought like, well, I'm just going to decide everything, and it's not. You kind of have to sort of include the other person in things and sort of ask what they think, and then you secretly sort of think, oh, you don't know what you're on about. So that part of it's been tricky, and I think people sort of imagine this rosy image of how like life's going to be with a newborn and how your relationship's going to be, and it's not. I won't say we, actually, that's not true, it's me. I don't know what it has been, but I just hate it. I just hate him most of the time, and I've got no reason to, because he's absolutely great, and he's so great with Lola, and he does so much with her, but just everything annoys me, and I feel like he's doing everything wrong, and just, it's a hormone thing, I suppose. And it's also, you're really like concentrated because we're just stuck at home, obviously, and you're not seeing anybody else, so kind of that amplifies it, I suppose. I hope that bit gets better. I've been making a conscious effort to be a bit nicer to him as of the last few days, because I realised I was being an absolute bitch. But yeah, so there's just this whole sort of whirlwind of emotions and not knowing if you're doing the right thing, and she wasn't a great sleeper to begin with. She also had reflux, which was really hard. We've sort of got the reflux under control. Let me know if you want me to do a video talking about reflux, actually, because I tried literally everything, and I know it's very individual, but I'll share my findings with you if you're interested. She's 9 weeks old now, and things are slowly improving. Her sleep's getting better. And let me just tell you, the sleep thing changes everything. Lack of sleep just colours everything. It's an absolute nightmare, but you do get used to it quite quickly. But at the beginning, there were literally days where I'd go for a wee and I'd sit there and I'd think, oh, I could sleep right now. Like, it was so tough. It does get a lot better. She's sleeping a little bit better now. Like we're doing sort of one wake in the night and then she wakes up. It's not too bad. I did try and do dream feed last night, but I don't think it's going to work for us. I think I'm better off just letting her kind of do her own thing. But she's a good baby. Like we've figured out kind of what to do. She's not one of those babies that's happy to just be left alone and all of that kind of thing. For ages she didn't nap either, which was really hard. She'd only nap if you were holding her and it was sporadic. The lack of routine was something that was absolutely doing me in as well. I'm somebody who loves structure, I love routine, I thrive off it, and there was just none. You can't, like, I know some people do have babies that have a routine and they get them into a routine and whatever. But I tried and it was impossible. And then I felt even worse because I was putting so much pressure on myself that I felt like I was really failing at it. Slowly now we've kind of gotten into a little bit of a routine and I've kind of let her lead the routine and just kind of seen how we go. And we're all so much happier that there's a little bit of a routine. Like I generally know how many naps she needs, when she needs a nap, when she needs a bottle, and it's just gotten easier that way. But the lack of spare time to yourself is just... you don't expect it. And when you're somebody who, you know, has had a lot of spare time to themselves, and I'm somebody that kind of like, I did a lot of things that were for me like enjoyable things, you know, I'd have a bath, I'd listen to a podcast. If I was cleaning, I'd be listening to a podcast, I'd be doing this, I'd be doing that. I worked like insanely long hours. It's very hard to just suddenly not do those things, and you sort of feel like, who are you? And looks wise as well, you know, I feel really unattractive. I feel really huge. I really hate my stomach. I don't have time to like necessarily like make the absolute best of myself, hence why my hair is in a bun right now. And if you're somebody that sort of thing's important to, I've made a really concerted effort to try and be on top of it as much as I can, but I can't always be on top of it. And it was things like wanting to be on top of like the housework and stuff. I'd get Paul to do bits and bobs, but I wanted to do it because I like it done a certain way and I like it done how I like it done, and it kind of makes my mind, it clears my head to kind of get things organised, and I wasn't able to do that because I was just too busy looking after a baby, and it was all a really weird place. It is getting better, like I said, now. And I'm enjoying it a lot more now that she's a lot more responsive, because I think at the beginning as well, there's so much just sitting on the sofa holding a baby, but it gets really boring after a while. Like, I'm not somebody that sits on the sofa and does nothing. I've always got a job going on. I'm doing stuff. I'm here, there and everywhere. And it was really tough to get my head around it. And I really did struggle. And like I said, I'm sure it's been amplified during this time. Your hormones are all over the place, baby blues or whatever. And I don't think I had postnatal depression, but I really was struggling and finding it really challenging. And I didn't want to. And then I always thought that I was going to be a natural at it. I've always felt like I was quite maternal. And then I was kind of like, oh, I'm not good at this. And it sent me into just like a spiral of self-doubt that I'm now slowly kind of trying to rationalise. But it was really tough. And like I said, it is getting better. And I do massively think that the sleep thing was a contributing factor for it getting better. And her sort of responding as well. Like, you know that you're doing something right, because like in the morning, this morning she woke up and Paul had gone downstairs to do her a bottle, and I'd gotten her out of her, we've got like a snooze pod next to the bed, and I'd gotten her out of it, and then I realised I really needed to wee, and he was doing the bottle. So I popped her back onto her bed for a minute, gave her a dummy, and I was like, I'll be back in a minute, and I thought, oh, she's gonna cry. She didn't, she was okay. So I went to the toilet and I came back and I came to lift her out, and she saw that I'd come to get her out of bed and she was smiling at me, and it's just so lovely. But the responsiveness really does help, I find, to kind of make you feel a little bit more like you're doing a good job. But saying that, we're at 9 minutes now, so I'm going to actually go downstairs and spend some time with her, because I've been up here filming. I've done loads of filming this morning while she's been having a nap. I don't actually know if she's is still napping. Paul's looking after her. She might have woken up by now. I think she probably has woken up by now, because I hope she has, or she's been asleep for ages. But yeah, I'll go and see what she's doing. But let me know what you think. Your experience of kind of new motherhood. What was it like? What's it been like during the pandemic? It's just such a weird time, isn't it? I feel really sad as well that, like, you know, she's not going to get to go to baby groups and to do all the stuff I wanted us to do. But yeah, I will love you and leave you, and we'll chat soon. Bye.